welcome to Mentor Mondays here at Bloomingdales.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bloomingdales 59th Street, the heart of New York. We are so happy you're here this evening. My name is Chelsea Brown and I am the business manager of YES on the second floor. And I am very excited to announce and introduce you to this really powerful group of women tonight.
Thank you guys so much for coming tonight, and thank you for the beautiful introduction. Again, I'm Vazzana, and I am the author and founder of Making It in Manhattan and a style and beauty influencer based in New York City. So I'm so excited for the second Mentor Mondays. A huge thank you to Bloomingdales for hosting it. I have some of my favorite boss ladies here tonight, so I'm going to kick it off by asking them to go down the line and introduce themselves. Then I have some questions, and then at the end we're going to open it up, so start thinking of some questions.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Ashli Stockton, founder of a company, a lifestyle brand called Sunday Forever. We're based in New York City. We're 3 years old, and we make all types of nice things, including the red string bracelets that we have on. Up here, we make them all by hand. We have a studio in the Flatiron District, so if you ever want to come and visit, you can do that. And we're at Sunday Forever, so come and see us.
Hi, my name's Christina Lord, and I am senior designer of Limistair. It is a bra company. We're based out of Jersey City, New Jersey, so just over the river. I've been with Limistair for almost 10 years now. I started my career there as an intern, and now I am the head designer of the brand.
Hello, I'm Julie Mollo, and my company is Julie Mollo. And I'm a bag lady and designer, and everything we make is super fun and flirty. So we're based in Gowanus, Brooklyn. Has anyone ever heard of Gowanus? Oh, great! Okay, awesome. Yeah, and we have a lot of fun. So.
Hi, my name is Daniella Yacobovsky. I'm one of the co-founders of BaubleBar. Sorry, I speak very loudly, so I don't always know what volume I should use with my microphone. I don't want to deafen you. So we develop on-trend.
We develop on-trend fashion accessories that help you have fun with what you're wearing, change your look, experiment with trend. It is all driven by our data-driven algorithm. We are sold direct to consumer on BaubleBar.com, and we are also sold in over 200 retailers across the globe in 17 countries, including this one.
This is for Julie. So Julie did not do herself justice in her intro. She just said she was a bag lady. But Julie makes super amazing, cool bags, and she actually had a really, really exciting start to her career. She was creating custom clothing for Katy Perry while still in college. So super, super cool. So how did you go from creating custom clothing for Katy Perry to then find your way into the handbag industry, and just how do you stay inspired throughout all of this?
Yeah, so I started my business when I was 20 years old. It was 11 years ago. And I shot Katy Perry's manager an email over MySpace on a whim, knowing that she would love my clothing. And these were just clothes that I was just designing, just, you know, in my summer vacation home in my tiny town in Massachusetts. And she loved them, so she started wearing them on the Warped Tour. So just to like date that's Katy was on the Warped Tour. But then we did like Leno, and we did the VMAs, and we did all that stuff together. So I started doing custom clothing for pop stars for the first 8 years of my career. And I started a clothing line in 2014 that was retroversible. It was all really retro-inspired reversible clothing. It was so cute. And when that was kind of winding down, I did that for 4 or 5 seasons. And in the last season, I was doing my first pop-up shop in New York. I was doing it at Chelsea Market. And I had all my clothing, and I had my displays, and I was like, I need one more thing to sell. I need something that people don't have to try on, something that still very much portrays the brand, something that's just easy, great price point, grab and go item, just in case people are in a rush or they don't want to try anything on when they come to the pop-up. So I made a bag. I made like 40 bags, and I just used all the scrap materials that I had from all of the costumes that I had been doing for pop stars and YouTubers and all of that. I found some shapes that I had put on pop star dresses. Started with a flamingo. I had done a dress for YouTuber Megan Nicole, and I had made a flamingo dress for her, so I had the pattern, and I was like, ooh, why don't I put that on a bag? So I put some sparkly fabric, put a vinyl flamingo on, and they like blew through at Chelsea Market. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And so I kept on the pop-up shop path, and I just kind of kept putting my product in front of people, which is something I had never done before. I was very niche in like the retro scene in New York, and putting my stuff in front of like tourists and people that didn't know me at the time. This was 2016. It was wild. So it's been a little over 3 years, and we've done about 30,000 bags, and I don't think I'm ever going back to fashion.
How do you feel the rise of social media has impacted your job and the way you design? And also, then the second question is, what's the process like when designing a new collection each season?
I work for Bloomingdales, and it's a company that was founded on the premise that a great fitting bra can really transform a woman's life. This company, like I said, I worked for, I started there as an intern, and now I'm the senior designer there. What's very important about what I do is that, like I said, we're changing women's lives. And the rise of social media is that I can hear you. People talk about inspiration. Where does your inspiration come? My inspiration comes from the ladies in the audience, the people on Facebook, on Instagram, talking to people, really hearing, I hear you when you say, I need a t-shirt bra that fits. Like Julie and I were talking backstage, I need a strapless bra that actually will stay up. And having social platforms like Instagram, Facebook, people are much more vocal, and having that open dialogue is so important, I think, for any company, but especially for me, because that's where I really start. My design process starts with the woman and what her needs and what her wants are when she's looking for a great bra.
As all of you are very busy women, what are some tips you could give to everyone for staying inspired and motivated in your busy, hectic lives?
I think one of the keys to staying inspired and motivated is to find time to unplug. I think when, I can speak for myself, when we first started BaubleBar, I think probably the first 2 to 3 years, my co-founder and I didn't take one day of vacation. I was glued to my phone, I didn't do anything else. And I think that when you eat, sleep, and breathe it, and you don't give yourself an opportunity to take a step back and clear your head, it's really impossible to be creative, to come up with interesting ideas. And I think finding those things that kind of force you to unplug are really important. I think it's very different for everybody. I'm a huge proponent of acupuncture. I do it regularly. I love it. It will force you to unplug and meditate if you have a difficult time just sitting and meditating, which most people do. We live in New York. So that's something I personally love, but I do think clearing your head is critical.
I also think it depends on where you are in your company, to your point. So in the beginning, so we're 3 years old. In the beginning, it was great. It was like, okay, we got like this many orders a week, no biggie, I've got plenty of time. Then the second year, you're like, okay, things are really starting to pick up. And then in our third year, our business has really started to explode, and God bless, but it's great. I have no complaints, but it's interesting like how little time that I have to make the magic, which started the company in the first place. So we actually just moved into a much bigger studio, and with that comes additional responsibilities, more rent, more team, all the things. So I've actually found lately that I'm having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to get re-inspired, and I've been searching for that. So for me, and I think it's different for everybody, like I'm working nonstop because we're a small team and we're growing, but I need a lot of alone time. And now our warehouse is next door to our studio, so there's 2 separate spaces, so I can be like, okay team, go into the warehouse, do the thing, let me be alone and just like futz and play, because all of the ideas for the company, from the copy to like the way things look, everything comes from this weird brain. And so I need that alone time. So I think like it's different for everybody, and I think it depends on like where you are in the journey.
So, living in the age of social media, I know many of us use social media to market ourselves and our brands, but how do you guys deal with the pressures that come along with that with social media?
I guess I'll take it. I don't know. I feel a lot of pressure. I like struggle with the algorithm, and I don't have a bazillion followers and all of that. And I hate that I feel that pressure. And we like sit around and we're like, what are we doing wrong? Like we have our own custom filters. Now we have our own gifts. Like really search Julie Mollo and you'll get your own clutch gifts. They're really cute. Put them on everything. We have a filter that looks like me. It's great. I know, it's so fun. But we're like trying so hard. And we're like, why, like, where is social media going? It changes so often, and like, I feel like you guys are so good at it. Like, I feel that pressure even like right now. You know, it's crazy. It's like every day, it's like something new or something different, and you have to always be on it. And I'm like, I need to get like an 18-year-old girl in my studio just commenting all day on everybody's things in order to get ahead. If anyone's 18 and wants to just comment on my Instagram for me, call me. Yeah. So I don't know. It's constantly it's constant. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. And then someone comments, you got to comment back, and you know you got to double tap, or else they think you're mad at them, and it's a whole thing. So yeah. But you're so good at it.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh,
you know,
it is.
I'm not making bags. Thankfully,
Yeah.
about that. Like,
Yeah.
this is my full-time job, and it takes a lot of time. I reply
Right.
to every comment. I reply to
Right.
every message and DM, or I try my best.
And she's
to.
still so genuine. Like, let me just.
I love you. But it really is difficult, and you start comparing and this.
Oh, yeah.
I think for me, sometimes I go through weeks where I just go on to post and then I go off, and that's it. Because it just sometimes you don't want to. You know, you're putting your creativity and your passion into the world, but I don't need to see everybody else's. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just focus on me, and I think that's really important sometimes. In the audience tonight, hoping to follow in your guys' footsteps and maybe one day build their own brand. I'd love to talk to you about the importance of mentors, and have you had any mentors when starting out, and how did they impact you and impact your career and your success? And that could, everyone chime in.
I think mentors are so important when you're first starting out in whatever field you're doing. I started out in intimate apparel. It's such a small industry. Actually, one of my very, very first mentors in the industry that helped me, get my foot in the doors in the audience today. And I'm very grateful, for the doors that she had. Mentors help open doors for you. They've been there, they've done that. I go to FIT and speak to her classes now to impart my knowledge. I've been there, done that, and you don't need to make the same mistakes. So I really think it's important to give back to the people that were once in your shoes. We were talking about you don't want to be closed-minded. You want to share. It's you can be competitive to a degree, but you really want everybody to be successful. And I think that's what a mentor really helps instill in you. They knew how hard it was, and they just want you to succeed and be more successful than them. I also have another mentor that I am lucky enough to work with every single day. She's the VP of Bloomingdales. She's the woman who answered my email when I said, this is the company that I must work for. She emailed me the next day, come in for an interview, and I had the internship, and we're still working together today. And she inspires me every day. She pushes me. And the one thing that I kind of hate about her is that she challenges me. I think that's also what a good mentor does, is challenges you, and not just going to tell you that everything's going to be okay. And I say to her, no, that's not possible. She gives me that look, and she's like, no, and then she asks her 50,000 questions until I give her the answer that that she's looking for. That this can be done. So I think someone that encourages, that pushes you, that really helps you in your career is really, really important. So finding those connections, it's not just about your peers. It's about people who have already been there, done that. They can really help you.
what advice would you give for balancing personal and professional life? I know we've all chatted about how we're so busy, and then we're on social media 24/7. It's so much. So how do you balance it all?
I don't know, my brand is my name, so it's a little tricky sometimes because like I feel like Julie Mollo is one person and then just Jewel or Julie is like somebody else. And I don't know, I feel like getting away, like leaving the city sometimes really definitely helps, like just getting outside of it and I don't know, just turning off. I love my subway ride, I love like that kind of stuff, but I don't know, balance is, I don't know, everybody has their own thing. I don't even know if...
I'd say being shamed by loved ones. I don't know another answer. Like I once fell asleep while sitting on like a bar stool, like literally with my boyfriend at the time. And he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I need a nap, okay? I'm like, half narcoleptic. I fall asleep in places I shouldn't. Like, why do you have me out in public right now?" But I think it's brute force, and I think that to some degree we do it to ourselves. So I try to be particularly OCD about putting my phone away when I'm doing things with my husband, when I'm doing things with friends, when I'm doing things with my family. I mean, my parents will call me out in 3 seconds, like, why are you on your phone? You're talking to human beings, and we forget because we grew up with them. But it's, it's something that sucks you back in, and you need to remember, like, you're interacting with human beings. Right. Put it away.
And I think you have to surround yourself with people that understand and get it. Not everybody's going to understand that you need to be working as hard as you need to work to do great things. Some people will understand and stick around and support you, and others won't, and that's called life, and that's cool. I'm lucky that I have a husband and a small group of friends that support what I'm doing and have understood the vision from the beginning, and it's blood, sweat, and tears. There's no way around it. So for me, I'm not sure. Balance, I don't know. Like, if you want to start a business and make it successful, you got to do what it takes, and that's it. There's no silver lining in terms of that. It's just facts. But for me, that's what's happened. I have great friends that get it, and some that don't, because unless you've left a whole life behind that was easy to start something fresh and new and take a gamble, nobody's gonna understand that journey.
I have a phrase that I live by, and it's you have nothing to lose. And I just I feel like my entire career started off of that. When people are like, you emailed Katy Perry's manager, like why? Like what if they didn't reply? And it's like, I wasn't talking to them yesterday. So I'll just, no shame, just go after whatever I want, because what is the worst they can say is no. And then, I didn't get anywhere, but I didn't go backwards. But if they say yes, it could change everything. So you have nothing to lose is I always keep that in my head.
I love that.
I also think a good line is, don't let your failures derail you. Failing is part of success. Like you have to use those failed experiences in order to know what to do for the future. So I think it's very important that you learn from your mistakes and don't let them get you off track. Like have your moment and accept that's what it was. Like I can tell you that I've designed some bad bras that don't fit, but then I use that knowledge, that feedback, that person telling me on Instagram that this bra wire's poking them. I don't do that in the next bra that I design. So it just makes me that much more successful in what I do. So I think that's very important.